Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to another episode of the Virgin Stars Podcast third season. How my loyal listeners, thank you for your continued support. This is an amazing episode because Aedin Mincks boards the mothership to discuss season 6 of Cobra Kai on Netflix. Now come aboard as we go traversing the stars. Hi, Mr. Minks. Thank you so much for coming to Virgin Stars Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
It's really my pleasure. So I always start off with a question of inspiration. So inspire your love for acting and who your earliest influences.
My earliest influence I'd have to say is Lord of the Rings. That one's always been my go-to. I like me and my brother, we like that's what introduced us into acting. Like we were just such huge fans of the Lord of the Rings movies and we couldn't get enough of it. We started we got the extended editions,
Hmm.
we started watching the behind the scenes and we're like, oh, so this is what acting is. Like it's an actual job you can do. And so we both just started trying out for agents, and then the agents sent us out for auditions, and yeah, it just went on from there.
Now, someone who also owns both the Lord of the Rings regular and special editions, I own both and I watch them both. Which is your favorite character?
Okay, as a kid, it's always been Legolas because like he was just so cool. But like I don't know, like I'd say like Boromir or Aragon, like their characters and their emotions are just like yeah, like it's really good. Yeah.
Now, regular or special edition? Which one do you prefer?
Special edition. I mean,
Special.
I can't get enough of it. So as much as I can see, yeah, I want the.
Like I said, I'm a huge fan. I think my favorite, I really love the special edition of Fellowship of the Ring. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I think Two Towers is my favorite film of the trilogy, though.
Yeah, definitely. Like that one was a really good one. I just like seeing like all their it was like the end the Return of the King, like the ending outfits and stuff,
Yeah.
like him in his full like Gondor like king outfit, like Aragon and like Gandalf the White, all like dripped out. Yeah, like so yeah, I
The,
love those. And also the extra scenes that you saw of him controlling the ghosts yeah, with the
hmm.
sword.
Well, at least
Yeah.
you had good taste in film. That's for certain.
Yeah, great inspiration. Yeah.
So now you play Mitch on Cobra Kai on Netflix, which is a huge series. They're on season half through season 6 so far. So how did you get involved with the project?
I actually auditioned originally for Brooks. He's one of the bullies from the first season. I didn't get a call back for that one, but then later on I ended up getting an audition for Mitch, and it worked out. Yeah, so I got to I think that was still before COVID. So that was before COVID. So we were still doing in-person auditions. I did a regular audition and then I did a callback. And when I did the callback, the big three were in there: John, Josh, and Hayden. And
Very cool.
from what I can remember, I had him laughing a bit while I was in there. So I'm like, all right, yeah, hopefully I think I got it.
That's also when you said you auditioned before the series started. So this is before you knew what Cobra Kai was, and then you auditioned were called back a few years later to audition again. How did it
Yeah.
change your performance to now know what Cobra Kai was all about, having known that it existed now on Netflix?
It yeah, it was like it actually okay. So originally, cause like so my mom's a manager too, so she sees all these auditions coming through, and like during that period of time, they were just like doing so many like revamps and like reboots and like things where it's like, oh, live action Lion King, who needs that? Like, and so they we saw that and like, oh God, another reboot. Like, is like all right, fine, just send in the audition, and then we years later I got the audition for my character, and then we saw they already had two seasons out, or no, they already had the first season out, and they had the first two episodes for free to watch on YouTube. So then we watched the first two episodes, and we're like, oh wow, this is actually a really good show. Like I really want to get into this. And the next day they called me and they're like, hey, you got the part. I'm like nice, yes, yeah.
Yeah,
So
my memory of when it first came out, or when I first heard that was going to be a series, I thought to myself, "Wow, that's a really kind of a deep cut from the '80s that that they're pulling back." I was like, "Wow!" But then as the time went on, it became a huge hit. I mean, it became
yeah,
like a cultural thing. People like were really big into this series. So how did it
yeah.
when you got the part and now you're part of the series that already is like this runaway train in popularity?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, well, because my parents were actually like big fans of the original Karate Kids too,
Yep.
and so they like that's why like they felt a little insulted. Like at first, where it's like, oh God, another reboot, but then like we actually watched it, we're like, oh my God, it's amazing, and so yeah, we they're definitely way more excited about it than I was because like that was their childhood, but yeah, it's really awesome and like really surreal. Like after because like I after I got the part, then I watched all the movies because I only watched the Jaden Smith one before that,
Yeah.
and then I watched all the movies again like with my parents, and I'm like, oh wow, like yeah. So and yeah, it is so the like in the next season or two seasons after I joined, then Silver came on, and like that was my favorite character from the original movies. Like
Now,
after going through them.
now the memory serves. There's five films, correct? There's the three trilogy. There's the trilogy, and then there's one with is it Christy Swanson with Miyagi, and then there's the one with Jaden Smith, right? There's five films, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I know I've watched the first three. My mom loves the Karate Kid movie. She's always watched the first two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge franchise. Now, what everyone knows about the Cobra Kai series and Karate Kid in general is martial arts. So how familiar were you with the martial arts upon earning the role?
Well, I was just coincidentally doing like kickboxing classes around that time. Like I like it was never required for the role, and they never made us do it on set. Like they at the most what they would do is they had stunt coordinators, and they would help us train for the fights, and then also like at the beginning of every week or like in the mornings sometimes we would come in, there'd be like this giant padded room, and we would do a little warm up where it would just felt like normal class where it's like everyone's lined up, throw a couple punches, do a couple stretches, run around in a circle, and then we all break off into our groups and do our specific fights that we had coming up.
So
So
how long does it take to choreograph one of those karate fight scenes?
it feels like we do an episode a week, and like whether we can or not, we crunch it in somehow. Like they'll like the bigger ones, they'll give you more of a heads up for it. Like it, I remember, yeah, I remember seeing some of the guys like practicing their fights like weeks before we actually got to that scene. So yeah, like I'm pretty sure like sometimes the stunts will have them like pre-planned, but yeah, sometimes it is a little last minute.
Now, I know the question everyone's always going to wonder about with these type of shows and whatnot. Um, did anyone land a punch, an actual one by accident?
I I know there's a couple stories. I know a couple people did hit each other. I'm coordinated enough. I don't think I hit anyone, but no, there were like a couple I had a couple accidental bumps. Like me and one of the stunts were just lining up for one of the fights where it's like, okay, here to here, here to here, and like we both bumped shins, and like it, like I don't know what it is. The shins just are so sensitive. They just leave like the biggest, like most annoying bruises. Like I remember like trying to like just get into bed after set, and like I'd put my knee in bed and I'd be like like it's just annoying. The shins suck.
Now the interesting with Mitch, I kind of found this kind of interesting with apparently it's like a theme in Cobra Kai. Now the characters in Miyagi-Do are supposed to be the good guys, right? Cobra Kai's the bad guy, Miyagi-Do's the good guys. However, there seems to be more than you would assume level of bullying from Miyagi-Do people than you would think for guys who are good guys, including onto Mitch. So,
Exactly.
what does that suggest about the Miyagi-Do good guys if they're also kind of bullies as well?
I mean, I guess it's just a yin and yang thing, you know, a little bit of a little darkness in the lightness and lightness in the darkness. You know, I feel like like yeah, they couldn't be. I guess, and it also had to like give my character fuel to do the things he did. So, I, yeah,
So, when you're thinking about once again about Mitch, I'm not gonna say what his nickname is for a bit because I mean, even though we're not technically a kid-friendly show, I'm still not. But we know
yeah,
what it is.
let's go right out to there. Yeah.
Um, do you think Mitch would have been in Cobra Kai if he got less shit from the Miyagi-Do people?
I feel like if well like that that seems like his main driving factor is that he was the main one getting picked on by like all of his friends and even like the other kids that he thought he would be picking on. But yeah, so I think he would have stayed with him if he just got a little more respect.
Mhm.
I don't think he would have betrayed anyone.
So is it fair to say that Miyagi-Do kind of creates their own enemies?
Sometimes, yes,
Sometimes.
yeah, yeah. It feels like if you notice the patterns, see a lot. There's a lot of like fists first and no talking. Like,
So Mitch, for part of the show, is a spy for Cobra Kai into Miyagi-Do. So how fun is it to play both sides, to be both as the character says later on, the heel, but at the same time he acts like a member of Miyagi-Do, one of the good guys. So what was that like to play, and how did you play like the nuance of him playing both sides?
well, they didn't like right away tell me at first. Like we would get the episodes one at a time, but then like they started showing that okay, Mitch is gonna start getting picked on a lot more, and like we're gonna see him like going over to the Cobra Kai like people and like when they had the they were handing out like the snacks and the shirts and whatever. Like I walked over to the table and I grabbed some and they're all like, "What are you doing over there?" And they start like picking on me even more. So like I started noticing it in the script where it's like they're like really picking on my character this season, and then at the very end it's like zips down the shirt, pulls it back. There he is. He's on the other side now. So like, oh okay, that's what was happening.
So when he spends that time in Miyagi-Do and he sees how they interact with each other, does that change at any point how he viewed the Miyagi-Do people, or did he already kind of have like the blinders of Cobra Kai over his face? He's just like, no, these guys are just assholes. That's all they are.
I feel I don't know. I felt like he really did like genuinely go over to because like he was kicked out. Like I was kicked out of Cobra Kai, but then like I was over to Miyagi-Do like trying to like make friends there, and like I realized I like wasn't making friends there, and I'm guessing like because Silver got more open mind like was more open minded than Kreese was with like bringing people in and like using people. So I think I wonder. I don't think they went didn't go into detail of how I switched sides, but I'm guessing maybe he could have had something to do with it. Like he could have like reached back out. I don't know.
So when he officially leaves Cobra Kai, there's that video that they show of Silver in the tournament. I'm gonna pronounce the name 100% wrong, so I'm just gonna see if I can check it. The
Go ahead,
Sakai,
Thomas.
the
Oh, it's
Sakai.
the second Takai. Yeah,
Yeah, I knew I was gonna butcher the pronunciation.
yeah. No worries. We none of us could get it the first few days either.
All right, I feel a little bit better
Or
about
like line, like
it. So, I mean, obviously, he sees the video with Silver trying to fix the tournament. Is that the only deciding factor when he finally quits Cobra Kai for good? Was there something else he thought about, and when he finally decided he was done with Cobra Kai, in your opinion?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it was really just like a we're caught thing, and it was just all over. So I just had to get out of there.
Or like he's like they're done. I'm gonna stick with the winning team.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, all right, but like, yeah, that was another thing. Just okay. I think it was supposed to be months apart, but looking at it, it just looked like it was the next day type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, oh yeah, because I think they mentioned something like Silver was in jail for a couple months, or like or it was Yuji was Chosen was like overstaying his welcome or something. So like it felt like looking at it, it looked like it was the next day where like I just showed right back up at Miyagi-Do. I was like, hey guys, sorry. Like, but no, I think I guess it was there was a bit of a time break of me being like, okay, I need to learn my lesson.
So, what do you think it's like for Mitch to now fight alongside his enemies? So do you think he feels like he's actually accepted by them, or do you think he's just waiting for them to turn on him the way he kind of spied on them?
Yeah, kind of like it like I don't know because they like they didn't really like show me having that much chemistry with that other side. And like I like none of my original friends, like I guess besides Peyton, Tori were over on that side too. Or no, I think yeah, she swapped back over the other side too. So there was no one I knew over there. There was no one that Mitch was friends with. He was just like, all right, yeah, I'm going over to the other side just for fun, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Mitch states in season 6 that this will be his final heel turn. He goes, I think he literally uses that line. This will be my. Don't worry, guys. This is my final heel turn. Um, I don't know. It's kind of like, in my opinion, it's sort of like, trust me, guys. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna turn on you guys again. Do you think you can take him at his word when he says that this is his final heel turn, or is that just a little too out there for him not to then think about something else?
If they keep treating me right, then I think it should be fine. Like I got a new nickname. Hopefully they drop that other one, and yeah, I think it'll be fine. Cause yeah,
So this is condition. This is conditional.
a little bit. Like I betrayed you guys because I was being treated bad, but now like I apologize, but tr treat me right, like
So what do you think makes this
because you see what
turn?
I'm capable of. Like,
So what do you think makes this turn different than the other opportunities he had to join and then walk away again?
uh, well, I think from that point of view, it just looked like Cobra Kai was completely over with. So it was like, all right, yeah, there's no other way to turn to. So
You're my last chance.
yeah, this is all I have left now. Sorry.
So, Mitch gets a new nickname, as you mentioned. It's I believe Muscles. If memory
Yep.
serves, you get to be Muscles by the students of Miyagi-Do. So how does having a new positive nickname instead of the one that he had before? How do you think that makes the character feel this time?
Probably a lot happier. Yeah, yeah, makes it a lot easier talking to people in public too about like the my job too. Because like people will recognize me and they're like, "Oh, you play on the show." It's like
Yeah,
they don't want to say the character name, but yeah, yeah.
yeah,
They now I could say muscles.
I would say as an actor, it must be rough to have to be known as the old nickname.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, it made it hard to talk about it to other people. Was like there would be like little kids that would recognize me and they'd be like, "I know you on the show," and like the parents be with them, and he's like, "Who do you play?" I'm like, "I can't say it." I'm like, "You can say it." I'm like, "You say it if you know it. I'm not gonna say it."
Now, did you have to sign autographs with that as the name?
Oh, never, no,
Okay.
no.
So, so when you think about it, if they had just used muscles instead of the other nickname, how much problems could Miyagi-Do students have avoided if they had just started with that?
I feel like a bit. I don't like. Yeah, how many times did I betray him? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, could have saved all that stress. I don't know.
So for the second part of season 6, what can we expect from our friend Mitch?
Um, just some funny moments and a send off. Yeah, just a couple more funny moments and a goodbye. Yep.
Does he get to show off the character, the muscles aspects character? Do you get to beat anyone up in the second part?
No, I don't think I remember having any choreography for the rest of the season.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
but those fight scenes must be a lot of fun, though. I mean, do you guys as characters get so into it? Do you guys have? I'm trying to say the best phrase for it. An ego about the characters you play. Like, do you have a conversation like my character is tougher than your character or something along those lines? Does that ever get into like the cast?
Sometimes, sometimes that like they'll just throw up that question like when we're bored or whatever. It's like, okay, I feel like Hawk would demolish everybody. It's like, yeah, it's like most of the time that is the answer. It's like Hawk is gonna beat everyone's ass. Like, yeah. Khalil Chris, he's very confident. He's very he always says he would win, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
So who do we know though, Mitch, that Mitch can be? Like you think you're in the top tier though, you would think, right?
Yeah.
Mitch?
Yeah. Definitely Owen and Nate. I could definitely top those two. Like just stick my arm out, I'm good. No. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that I could confidently beat them. I feel like I could match uh I can match Hawk probably. I feel like I got some mass on him. I could like try to like bear hug him down, but Khalil Chris, he's too big. He's just tall. Like out like we would like during our fights and during like sparring scenes or like just playing around, like half the time he's just doing a knife hand, like just keeping it like this pointed directly at your chest, just stabbing your chest the whole time. Like he doesn't like he has way too much reach. So
So actually, so when Mitch has gone from Cobra Kai to Miyagi-Do, has your fight style have to change, or how you approach your fighting style have to change now that you went from what Cobra Kai is to Miyagi-Do?
Um, well, for the first few seasons, our stunt coordinators, actually, Hero and Janelle, they actually, they gave like each character their own fighting style. So it'd be like, I think they said Aisha was jujitsu, and like someone else was Krav Maga, someone else was this and that. And so like everyone had their own style, and like you could kind of see it like watching it. And like I think like when we replaced them in like later seasons, I think it sort of like obscured a little bit. Like everyone just sort of became the same fighting style. But yeah, but like yeah, the fight still came out.
So what can listeners look forward to in part 2 of season 6?
Uh I honestly couldn't tell them. I don't read the scripts except for my parts. I like to get surprised when I'm watching the show, so I'll try to just stick to my lines.
So what's next for you?
Just waiting for auditions, just hanging out. Might get into streaming. I don't know. I like tried to, didn't really put that much effort into it. Might get into it again. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Minks, it's been an absolute honor to speak with you, sir. I look forward to seeing you in part 2 of Cobra Kai, and I want to thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Have a great night, sir.
You have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Virgin Stars podcast. Please like and subscribe. Turn for the next episode when Fred Van Linty boards the mothership to discuss Dark Soul Side from Valiant Comics. To next voyage, travel on.